Alright, soldiers, listen up. I hate the squids. I really do. I fight bugs and bots and struggle at times, but throughout my galactic warfighting career, I've always felt like I was on my back foot against the squids. I basically never figured out a good build that I like for fighting them. I tried light armor, but felt too squishy, and never really fast enough anyways, even with a jump pack. But this past weekend, I was determined to figure it out. I had recently unlocked the legally distinct Beskar armor, so I wanted to figure out a heavy armor build for facing off against the Illuminate. And beneath the purple-tinted skies of Hesoe Prime, I finally found my Squid Killer build. Here is what I learned.
Heavy diving's hard to do.
I am a long-time, accomplished bug diver. Ignore my level when I tell you that. This is the third platform I've owned the game on. I'll explain that another time. Just accept when I tell you that I am an accomplished bug diver, okay? So I'm very used to running away and using spacing to deal with hordes of enemies, and I am extremely not used to wearing medium armor, let alone heavy. I just feel too slow if I'm not in light armor. But the best way to keep this game fresh is to try new builds, new items, and I was just sure I'd figure out a build for heavy armor. Mostly because I like looking like a walking MacBook. I mean, the helmet is drippy, I'm chromed up, I mean, come on. Especially on the snowy planet, I look good. But because of how thick and chonky I am in this armor, I was under the impression that I would need to use a jump pack or something to help me with mobility, but when I tried it over and over, I kept finding that it wasn't enough to really put distance between me and the squids. Eventually, they would envelop me. I could get away briefly, but they'd always just catch back up. Frankly, the best way to travel quickly in heavy armor is just to throw yourself downhill. But be careful, okay? So anyway, I gave up on the jump pack because I realized I would have to design a build that would let me stand and fight because I really had no other choice. I'm just slow, and I have to honor that. So I would need to be prepared for anything, any fight, any squid, any time, because in most situations, I just would not be able to turn and run. So after giving up on the jump pack, the first thing I added to this build was a guard dog rover. And this happened by accident. I was trying to pick up a teammate's samples or something and accidentally grabbed their guard dog rover instead, which replaced what I was carrying. What I found was that the rover helped me strategically retreat from combat way better than the jump pack ever had. The guard dog rover covers your butt while you run away, and I just simply prefer the laser wielding one because it looks way cooler and also is easier to track, as in I can see who the rover is shooting very easily and then choose which targets to prioritize myself. Like if it's taking out a bunch of seekers, I just shoot the other ones. Does that make sense? It's harder for me to tell what's going on if my guard dog is shooting them with bullets. Anyway, my Talon, which is just the best secondary in the game by a mile, makes quick work of seekers. One shot to the eye and they are toast. Two otherwise, but with the rover shooting a laser at like an overseer shield, I can also quickly melt through that and blast them into ink with my limitless pistol. I've killed appropriators with the Talon, though I wouldn't recommend it, and I even think I might have tanked a harvester's beam with the directional shield and killed it with my Talon, but I'm not totally positive that's what happened, and I wouldn't recommend trying it yourself. Anyway, for this build, the Talon is really my primary against the squids. It's the thing I wield the most by far, both because I'm using the gunslinger armor passive and also because it's just such a good weapon. I mean, it does 200 damage per shot. You basically never have to reload it if you space your shots. There's no recoil, there's no bullet drop, so you can basically snipe with it. And in a pinch, you can rapid fire it and know that the reload afterwards will take a millisecond because of the armor passive. So I really can't recommend using the Talon and this armor combo enough against the squids. It's just such a great combination. Let's talk about the sentries. I love sentries. An upgraded autocannon sentry deals more damage over the life of the sentry than an orbital laser does over the 25 seconds that it's running, just so you know. But we're not bringing the autocannon sentry because we don't need it, and here's why. Everything on the squid front is basically medium pen, and like I said, you quickly get overwhelmed, and in heavy armor you have to stand and fight. So I'm rolling with both of the machine gun sentries so I can quickly lock down an area. You know, the Gatling obviously chews through a lot of chaff quickly, but the incredibly quick cooldown of the machine gun sentry means you basically always have one ready to go. And I throw it down constantly. At the first sign of trouble, it's there. It's literally like adding a Helldiver with perfect aim with a support weapon to every single fight. But it doesn't just help you when you're in a fight. it also helps you retreat. You know, when I'm trying to get away from overwhelming numbers, I will throw down a machine gun sentry ahead and to the side of me to basically flank any pursuers. And as an added bonus, it also draws their aggro. So they will go kill the sentry before continuing to pursue me, which puts more distance between me and them. Coupled with the guard dog rover, I've made some pretty epic runs for it. Over the weekend, I had 3 separate epic marathon cross-map trudges through blizzards with a black box. And I don't think I could have done it without my rover and my sentries and my talent. They help me get away. They help me, you know, put space between me and the enemy, but they also help you take over the objective when you arrive. So over the weekend, I often broke out solo with the black box away from my teammates and arrived at the objective to deliver it. And even though my teammates were off somewhere else, I basically had a full squad watching my back, because the Gatling is sort of like a stationary Helldiver with a maxi gun. The machine gun sentry is like a stationary Helldiver with a machine gun. And the rover is just my little buddy with a laser pointer. And with these 3 stratagems and my laser talon, I'm finally diving against the squids with confidence, and it feels great. But what about anti-tank? I'm sure at this point in the footage by now you've already spotted it. I am using a Quasar as my 4th stratagem. So every 18 seconds I get this super mega blast that dispatches the heftiest foes, other than overseers apparently. Anyway, this thing can rock appropriators, harvesters, warp ships. It's just great all around to have. You know, the infinite ammo is awesome. Obviously I don't have a backpack slot, so you know, my choices for what support weapon to bring were kind of limited, but I did want to have one. And all that leaves really is my primary. I am a big Deadeye fan, but I didn't really love it against the squids. But I recently got the Python Commandos Warbond, and I've started using the 1-2 as my primary. And with it, my real 1-2 punch against harvesters is this primary, which I just spray at the shield at any distance without regard to aim, because you're going to hit the harvester's shield pretty much no matter what. That takes out the shields, and then I swap to my Quasar and aim for a leg, and boom, it's dead. Done. By the time I break the next harvester's shield with the 1-2, the Quasar is basically ready to fire again. It's a really nice combination. As an added bonus with the 1-2, you get a little grenade launcher, which I use to destroy warp ships in a pinch. So the guard dog covers me while I do my heavy trot over to the warp ship, and a lot of the times I don't even watch who's coming for me. Generally speaking, I've got sentries, teammates, and a laser pointing watchdog guarding my back. So I just kind of calmly switch to the grenade launcher, aim and fire and miss and reload and aim and fire and take out the warp ship with no stress. Even when you do get hit in the heavy armor, you can generally just tank it, and you will get hit a lot, and you can't tank everything, but I digress. Oh, and I also bring dynamite as my another like anti-tank weapon, and another way to deal with warp ships, and another way to deal with hordes of enemies that you can just kind of chuck. Basically because I don't have thermites on this account, and I've gotten pretty good at cooking and timing the throw of the dynamite and made some cool plays with it, I'd say, which felt pretty sick. So overall, I was confident enough to run this build on D6 and D7 and rarely have an issue. I'd usually die somewhere between 0 and 2 times per match, which I think is good enough. But what I did not know over the weekend was that one of the hosts I was playing with had sneakily moved us up from like D6 or D7 to a D9 Helldive. And I say sneakily only because they did it and I just didn't notice until after the match was over. But I had a great match, an incredible match. And at the end, I saw that I had done it against the squids in my new heavy armor build on the 2nd highest difficulty. And it was then, in that moment, surviving that match, that I realized I had found myself on Hesoe Prime.
Thanks for watching.
My next adventure is, I think, an attempt to make a good defoliation tool build. So stay tuned for that. Okay, bye.